Forging a human skull. Hi there, I'm Thak from Thak Ironworks. Welcome to this video. This is something I'm kind of known for, is making forging skulls, so I wanted to do something big with a lot of detail, and that's what we're doing here. I started with a piece of 1.5 inch square bar, just mild steel, so a fair bit of volume, and the first step is to bend over a portion and then roll it back on itself to create a sort of jelly roll shape. Once I've got the jelly roll shape, then I hammer off the corners, rounding it out, and that really gives it the actual cranium shape back of the head, sort of up there. So important to get everything rounded out and balanced at this point. Next step is to get it into some spring fullers and to bring down the underneath the cheeks, define that area. After I've got the cheeks notched in there, then I get in with a punch and push them up, balance them out, trying to get the proportions right. Most of this was done with forging, but you can see I actually did a little bit of chiseling. That's how you could refer to that as chasing. We're removing some material where I realized I had too much material in a certain area and I just chiseled it away. But for the most part, it's all done with forging, which is compression, much like clay, where you're just pushing the volume around until it achieves the appropriate shape. So using a rounded punch, I am able to drop in the eyes and the nose opening. So I started by just dropping them in and then pushing out on the sides, because it's not a totally round opening, it's more of a rectangle type shape. So pushing them out from side to side, quite a bit of sculpting to make that happen. Now, working with a larger steel, and I spent quite a bit of time on this one, I was able to get more anatomical detail than I typically do when I do the smaller skulls. If you're familiar with my channel, you may have seen my skull video from a few years back, where I was doing a skull of probably 3/4 inch square, so about half the size of steel. And that's a skull that I'll do in about 15 or 20 minutes. This one took, I don't know, upwards of around 10, maybe 12 hours. So quite a bit more time to move the mass, but I also was able to spend time adding more detail. And still, for anatomically correct, I would say I'm only halfway through the spectrum. Like if on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 would be a light bulb shape with 3 dots and 10 would be an actual human skull, I think I'm somewhere 5 or 6 on the level of detail on this one. There's certainly a lot more that you could add in, but I think there is enough that it really gives a plausible effect. And that's typically what I'm going for with sculpture. It is always a stylized representation of what you're doing. And I think that is important. And that's what I enjoy when I look at art and sculpture. I like to see that it's not a photograph, that it's, something that was made with a process. And I enjoy seeing evidence of that process. So I like to incorporate that into my sculpture as well. During the filming of this, my cameraman was doing double duty, where he was filming with the camera that you're seeing this on, and also with his phone for the short. So you'll see the phone poking into the scene every now and then. So apologize for that, just a little behind the scenes bonus for you. All right, so really curious to know your comments on how you feel about the process. If you have any questions about how it all comes together, certainly I would be eager to help you out on that. A lot of people really enjoy the skull thing. It seems to be a very intriguing forging process for people. And something like it could be used for something like a sword pommel or gear shift knob. Those are two things that always come to mind and what I've made them for in the past. But anyway, check out the rest of my channel. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and consider supporting us on Patreon. All that cool stuff. I will see you guys next time. That's it for me. Back out. See ya!